So today we're going to be reacting to an article that came up this morning from a Knicks beat writer going over free agent signings that he'd like to see the Knicks consider, and I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts. So starting off with Luke Kennard, he is an amazing three-point shooter. Last season he was at 43.3%. Given the fact that the Knicks don't have much shooting outside of Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet's a pending free agent. Of course, Cat and Brunson can shoot, but next to them, there's just not much. McHale had a down year shooting. Josh Hart, as we know, can't shoot. OG Anunoby's kind of hit or miss. When he's wide open, he's an elite shooter, but when he's contested, he's a very, very bad shooter statistically. And we saw that specifically against Boston when there was a hand in his face. OG was, 20, I think he was 17% from three or something like that at the top of my head. So that's horrible. So bringing in Luke Kennard, assuming it's for vets minimum, he would give the Knicks a guard slash wing that can go out there, sort of like Bojan Bogdanovic a couple of years ago. I get a lot smaller, but that can shoot the ball. I would like this as well because there's going to be times where the Knicks do need to stretch the floor and knock down some threes. Maybe they want to get Luke Kennard going. So I would personally do this without question. Al Horford is next up on his list. I actually put Horford on my list about a month ago. When did the Knicks get eliminated? I don't even. It feels like it was like 5 months ago, man. Time goes by that fast. It was a couple of weeks ago. I did put Al Horford on my list. The reason being is defensively, he's actually better than he was 3 years ago. He can stretch the floor. He can play multiple positions. He's just a high IQ player that's won a championship, that's been in a lot of big moments, big playoff games. I would love Al Horford. The argument to Horford is that, well, what happens to Hukporti? Because if you bring in Horford, he's essentially taking all of Ariel Hukporti's minutes, and I know a lot of people are not going to like that. Me personally, I don't really care if Hukporti plays or not. I just want to win a championship. If Hukporti can help the Knicks do that, then sure. But to me, playing the young guys, yeah, there's going to be a point in time where that's necessary. But right now, I think the Knicks just need the best 15 guys they can. And Hukporti did look good in limited minutes when he played. I think Al Horford is just a much better player, and I would love to bring him in. He even gave the Knicks trouble in a couple of those games, knocking down threes and his defense on Cat. I mean, Horford is just an incredible player. Spencer Dinwiddie, this is also very interesting. I wouldn't mind at all if the Knicks just disregarded Kennard and brought in Dinwiddie. He's 6'5". He's a combo guard. He averaged about 11 a game last season, 11 exactly, 4.4 assists, 2.6 boards, 41.6% from the field. I think Dinwiddie's a solid 1/2 guard, but me personally, you already have Deuce, you got Kolek. Just add a shooter next to those guys. I don't really think Dinwiddie makes a lot of sense, especially since DeLon Wright is a pending free agent, and the Knicks might as well just bring him back. Because the issue with Dinwiddie is that offensively, he can give you something to this point in his career, but the Knicks don't really need what Dinwiddie provides. I'd rather just go get DeLon Wright. Yeah, my biggest issue with Dinwiddie is I'd like to see the Knicks, if they're going to add in another guard, just go get a shooter or get a defensive-minded player, and that's certainly what DeLon Wright provides. And Landry Shamet. I mean, it doesn't make sense to bring in Dinwiddie when you can just re-sign Shamet. I mean, they would play kind of like the same type of role. And then DeLon Wright, from what we saw with his ability to pressure the ball defensively, and then offensively, he can play make. He just is smart. He can move the ball, make the extra pass. I don't really want Spencer Dinwiddie. I've never been that big of a fan of him. I think it's because he was on the Nets, and I just can't really stand them. But yeah, I'm absolutely off of Spencer Dinwiddie. If he takes a vets minimum contract, then you really got to consider, though, because he's certainly too good to pass on. I mean, you're not going to have 15 better guys than DeLon Wright. So it depends on the price, but if it is for vets min, like $1 mil, $2 mil, then yeah, I would do it. I'd rather have him than like PJ Tucker. Trey Lyles is interesting. I don't really want to bring in any more wings because you already got OG, you already got McHale. And what about Bacome Dadier? I think he's ready to step in and be a serious part of the rotation. The Knicks used a first-round pick on him. Let's at least see what he's got. I think Tibbs just honestly was holding him back too. He didn't want to play the young guys. He didn't want to play the bench at all. So yeah, I'm definitely off of Trey Lyles. I don't know too much about him though, so if you guys know more about his game and you think he's a perfect fit for us, please let me know. 34% from three. Yeah, I'm kind of good, man. I'd rather just play Dadier. And then DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet. So we're talking about 4 potential veteran minimum types of guys, and then just re-signing our 2 biggest offseason free agents, you absolutely could throw Precious Achiuwa in there, PJ Tucker. But Wright and Shamet were the two guys off of the bench against the Pacers that stepped in and made a serious impact. So I would love to bring them back. To be honest, I think all of these guys honestly could help the Knicks win. It's just, are they even going to play? That was my issue with a guy like a PJ Tucker. I don't mean to keep picking on PJ. I actually do really like him a lot. He's a good dude. He's got a lot of cool sneakers. But PJ, he's making about $3 million. He's not even playing. It just, how does that make any sort of sense? To be paying a guy that's not even going to contribute. I mean, I don't expect the Knicks to go 15 deep into their bench, but at the same time, I'd love to see 11, 12 guys play every night in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, cut it down to 9 or 10. I think that's just going to keep everyone fresh. And the moment I knew that the Knicks were cooked was when Mikal Bridges told Tibbs he needs to play the bench more because they're very good. And Mikal Bridges hasn't even missed a game in his entire NBA career. I don't think Mikal's missed a game since like high school. So the fact he's coming out and saying to reduce his minutes says all you need to know about Tibbs. And to be honest, I'm going to end the video on this. It's a little bit off topic. But there's been talks about the Knicks and having not hired a coach and the whole KD thing. I mean, it's just pretty stupid how so many people think that they actually know anything about the Knicks. They don't need to hire a coach anytime soon. They can do their due diligence. They can ask about coaches who have jobs already because the Knicks are the last team that needs to hire a coach, so there's no competition. So they're going to take their time. They're going to bring in someone. And in terms of them not pursuing Kevin Durant, I don't actually hate them for it. I personally would swap Cat for KD any day of the week just because Cat is a horrible defender, and as we saw in the playoffs, Brunson and Cat just can't work. But at the same time, Durant is 37, and he needs to get paid. So not only do you trade Cat, who's basically 10 years younger, but then you need to pay Kevin Durant. And Durant, I mean, he's gone to the Suns. He's gone to the Nets. He hasn't really won anything. Yeah, he's put up good numbers. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Katie's better than Cat. But, like, how much better to be able to give up Cat? I mean, that's kind of the thing. And Cat averaged, what was it, guys, 25 and 13 in his first season. He's just so slow on his feet. That's kind of the problem. I think that the right coach can turn this around. And maybe the Knicks can get creative. Maybe they bring in Jaren Jackson Jr., or maybe they start Mitch next to Cat for the whole season, or they bring in like Jason. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something. But in terms of not pursuing Kevin Durant, I don't think it's necessarily like dumb by any means. I get why they aren't doing it. I don't think the Knicks need to make any drastic changes. And the same beat writer that actually wrote this article that we just talked about said that there's a 40% chance that the Knicks trade someone in their starting lineup. So like Josh Hart, OG, Mikal, Cat. I think that's pretty realistic. Not that I have any sources, but just from what I've read and what I've seen, the Knicks, if they can upgrade the roster, they will. If they can go get Tripp, like I said, they can go get Giannis or something like that, they absolutely will do it, and I don't really hate them for it. But Mikal Bridges, that trade is, I mean, it helps that Desmond Bane went for 4 picks because that makes us look a little bit smarter. But in terms of like 5 picks for Mikal, yeah, the Knicks probably should have kept those picks because to that point, they would have a lot more flexibility financially and just constructing the roster. Mikal needs to get paid too. That's the problem is you make a big trade for a player, and now they have to get paid. I mean, Mikal Bridges, hopefully he takes a pay cut because if he doesn't, 5 picks and a max, like I just can't get on board with that. I really can't.